Hi y'all, this is Pam at Pink Dragonfly Wingz, and we are here today to use up some more of these envelopes. Here a while back I asked my mom to save these for me, because she's real good at doing that kind of thing. Well, now I have more than I need, so I got to find something to do with these envelopes. So I sat and I've made folios with them. I've made uh, the tall things with the windows that you could use as a tag place. And then I thought, okay, that's really cool. But I thought, what if we fold these in half? And this was at one time a full envelope. If I can find a way to show you, it was a full envelope, and I just cut it in half. We have a little tag here and just a really cool little envelope that we covered. And I had some paper. This is pretty thick stuff. Not real sure what the paper is. It's not really cardstock. It's not really, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Something I had in my stash. But it's pretty heavy. And here, just a few weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago actually, I dyed some doilies and put them all in a big old box here. So I hand dyed a bunch of these doilies, and I didn't hand dye them. I spray dyed them with Distress Oxide inks and got some beautiful, beautiful colors. So pretty vibrant. But anyway, I dried them. When I took them out to dry them, I put them on this paper that I had, and it made these beautiful kind of 60s psychedelic-y looking patterns on the back. And I thought, wow, that's really cool. So I used one of the sheets to make this little pocket. Now the pocket has a little tag here that goes in it, and there's some writing space on the front, but there's also some writing space on the back. Fits in here really nicely so that this little flower shows right through. If you put it right up next to the edge of the tag of the pocket, you see this flower here in this little window, and I thought that was really cool. And then I just put this on. This is just a little paper clip that I made, and I'm hoping I can make a video showing you how I made these too. But I just thought it needed something on there, but it's so busy already with the colors and all of that stuff in there. I didn't want just a whole lot of stuff, and I put that on there, and I thought, well, that looks perfect, so I put that. So that's the part with the envelope, and this is the other part of this is the part of the envelope with the window. This is the part without the window. It also has a tag, just a plain little tag with a matching doily on the front. Put that in here, and both of these tags are designed to clip in. You can clip them in with a paper clip. You could use this paper clip and clip it on the top of your paper, your journal page, or whatever you want to do with it. Or you could also glue it down should you choose to do that and make it stationary. But I have started paper clipping and pinning and clipping a lot of the things that I put in there, because I thought, just because I like this and I like it on this page, somebody else might like it somewhere else. And so I've started making things that are a little more interchangeable, and you can kind of move them and put them wherever you wanted to do that. So what I did is, if I can find them here, I distressed some paper, and I'm in the process. I'm going to start here pretty soon making another journal, and I want it to be like the dark forest. So I want all the colors to be greens and darks and that kind of thing. So I went ahead and dyed these book pages to match that. Now these are the book pages, these blue ones that I used to make this one here. And I just tore what I had left up and put it on the back, fixed this one on the front. Easy. I used one sheet. to make this whole cover. So, but I did want to use the blue ones. So I have some blue ones made. I have some purple ones made, and they turned out really nice too. Some of them are a little dark, but I think the patterns on them are really cool. But I want to use these green ones. And I really only need one or maybe two. We could kind of play that by ear as we go, how we want to do that. But, and of course, this one doesn't have any writing on it, but it's got this beautiful ink pattern on it that just turned out so pretty. And this one as well. And I got this idea from Louisa Hansel at Junk Jungle Art. And she doesn't like these little edges on here to be so bold and so aggressive kind of, but I like them that way. And on her YouTube channel, she does a video and she'll show you how to get rid of these if you don't want them. But I work really hard to get them on here because I really, really like them. So that's entirely up to you. That's your taste. These are done with, I think, either peeled paint or shabby shutters. I'm not really sure, but that's a little lighter than what I wanted for this project. So I'm going to go with this. This is done with forest moss. And I'm going to make two little pockets like this. I'll show you how we did it. And use this paper. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do, I'm going to use this one because that window's just a little bit bigger than the other envelopes. So we'll put those aside. We're not going to throw them away. We will use them. We're going to take our envelope and fold it in half. Find my bone folder. Fold this as close to in half. I'm not perfect at anything. I don't cut perfect. I don't measure perfect. I don't anything. It's just kind of fly by the seat of my pants most of the time. But we will cut that and make that pretty close to even. I have my little cutter here, so I can hold this up. I think my husband needs to. I just got this. I had a very dear friend of mine that gave me one of these back when I lived in Colorado, and I set it on the edge of my trash can here right by my table, and I guess it had fallen in the trash can. Anyway, my husband came to gather up my trash for trash day, and my cutter was in there, so I had to buy another one. Broke my heart. He has apologized and apologized, and you know, but no big deal. I got another one. I'm just going to pretend my friend got me that one. So I'll be happy. All right, here we go. So we're going to start. And with this one, we're going to glue these together. I'm going to do one at a time. I'm sorry, I don't multitask well, and I barely can handle one project at a time. So we're going to do one. We're going to glue this, if we can get our glue to work. Finding that pin in that little bitty hole is crazy. There we go. We're just going to tighten it down, tuck it down. I don't want it all the way down here because I don't want this covered up. I don't want this spot covered up. We want to have as much room as we can have for our tag. Okay, so we're going to glue that down. Going to burnish it, kind of spread that glue around a little bit. And we need to pay attention where our top is. Now, I've glued this down, and I'm going to get my cutter, and I am going to cut a sliver. Now, I don't know if other people across the country use that term, but I use it. In the South, we use that term, and it means just a teeny tiny little bit. So I'm just going to cut that wide enough to open the envelope. So you can see very little cut off. just a tad. You could use your scissors, but like I said, I don't cut very straight either. So I've opened this up. So we have like a little cup here because it makes it easier to cover the back part of this. And I do want the back covered because when you take the tag out, like on this one, you can see through that. And I don't want that to be ugly. So I want to go ahead and cover it. So we're going to cover it with our paper. Doesn't really matter what paper we use, whether we use this piece or we could use this piece. It really, you know, it's just kind of whatever you want. Since this side does offer just a little bit of variety here, I'm going to use this piece here. So I think that will work pretty good. So I'm going to take my paper out. Of course I am. And then I'm going to, as carefully as possible, glue all down in here. If I can get my glue to come out of this little glue thing. And you know, I have cleaned this thing and cleaned it, and I just don't know. I just don't know what else to do. I don't know if there's a little piece of hard glue in there that gets stuck in that hole or what, but gives me fits. Put that down in there. It doesn't have to be glued very, very super, but just enough that's going to hold that paper in because you don't want it sliding in and out. And see, it's stuck again, so I don't know if maybe there is a little piece of glue that gets down in that hole and blocks up that hole. I guess I need to try to clean it again. So I will try to do that. Then we're going to take this and slide it right in here. I got a little bit of glue on the inside of this window, so I'm going to wipe that off real quick because I certainly don't want the window glued to the paper. So we'll just wipe that off just a little bit. Let me get some water on here and wipe that off. I just don't want that glued down, so we'll wipe that off there. Fold it down really, really nicely. Get our bone folder, burnish it down. We want it to stick. It doesn't have to be a great glue job, but we do want it to be nice and we make it stick. Get my scissors here, and we'll just cut around this right up even with where it is. Okay. And then we have the inside done. So we can now, excuse me, we can now go in and glue the top. Don't glue this side that you cut open because that's where our tag's going to go. But we are going to glue it here, so we can go ahead and glue that down. Burnish it. Get the glue spread out really, really nicely. Okay. And now we have an envelope that opens on the side. Like this. This is where our tag is going to go. So we're going to have a tag similar to this one, and it will slide right in here. Okay. We're going to make it big enough that it fits right even with the tag or with the pocket, and then whatever you put on here will show right through this little window right here. We'll show you how to do that. Now we need to decorate around the window and on the back. So we can do the back first because it's a big piece, and usually I don't like these little white pieces on here. I just like the words. But I've decided that for this little project that it looks pretty nice. So kind of even like that corner there. So I may do the top up there and just color it like that. We could save it and wait and do the back like we did this one and piece it. So we may do that. All right. So let's take a look here. We're going to put a piece right here, right up to the window. Now you can cut it and make it nice and even. On this one, oh, this one didn't have a window on it. On this one though, we tore it so you can see it's kind of jagged and everything on there. You can do it that way. You can leave it straight and then just line it straight up with the edge of your window, however you want to do it. But I like tearing, so I'm going to tear. So I'm going to start up here at the top, and we're going to tear down and put that whole piece right here on our window. All the way down, and that's going to give us plenty. Tear that across. And if it lays over the edge of the window a little bit in places, that's okay. It's all right for it to look like that. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to ink the edges. I really like inked edges. And we could even pull this down here and get that corner in there. I don't know. How about if we do it on this side and put that? I don't know. I like this little corner up here, but no, I'm going to use it right here. So that'll work. So we're going to glue this down. Hear me argue with myself over what I want to do, what I don't want to do, what I like, what I don't like. And then I change my mind, and we'll put this down here at the bottom. And we'll cut that little corner off, and I can use that little corner for something else. So now we'll cut this right down even. And you could tear this and make this edge jagged as well. You could use your decal cutter or paper tear ruler or whatever you wanted to do. You can use that. But I really like the hand torn look on here. So, and we could use this little piece down here at the bottom if we choose to do that. Use it up at the top. Use it over here at the side. These papers were coffee dyed first, and you've got this really cool coffee stain down the side of it that I really like. But I think we'll just do this. So we'll lay this down here. Well, if I can find the edge, right here. And we're going to tear. Start down here so that I can tear toward me. I think I might have torn it a little big, but that's okay. Better too big than too small. So we can always tear off a little bit more. You can't always put on more. So we're going to tear it like that and leave that right there. Okay, let's get our ink and ink this up again. And then I wait to ink the edges until I'm sure where the edges are going to be. So I kind of like this. It will match this corner up here, opposites, but still match. So I like that idea. So we're going to cover this. And we're going to try real hard not to get it on the acetate on our window. We're going to get our little pin and unstick our little nubbin again. And I think after this video, this little nubbin's going to get a trip to the sink to be cleaned out again. Okay, get that really good and inked down, or glued down. put this, let me scoot this back a little bit. I hope you can still see it, but get my fat head down here. We just want to make sure that all the white from that envelope along this window is covered. Okay. Get our bone folder again and give it a good swipe. We're going to cut off and down the side. Okay. And then you can decide what you want to do as far as these little things down here. And we have a little piece of paper. We could cover it down here, up here. We could put a piece of lace down here. We can cover it with another little piece of this. And I kind of like that. I actually like it without the words on it. So let's tear this and see if we can. That would give us plenty. If we put that right there and pull it down just a little bit, we're just going to tear off these words. Put that over there, and we'll just line it up with where the bottom is. That'll work. And we're going to have it put about as much room on this side as we did over here. So we're going to tear off about this much, and then hopefully we'll have enough up here to put it on that one. And oh, I forgot to ink it. Y'all forgot to tell me I didn't ink it. Oh goodness. Inky, inky, inky. Okay, here we go. We're going to lay it down again, right here on the edge. There we go. Okay, we'll turn this one upside down. I think this one will fit right here. Okay, I think that I can even tear this off a little bit since that didn't get inked very well. Well, we didn't ink. Let's ink. Goodness gracious. As I tell my grandkids, goodness gracious sakes in the morning time. Have no idea what that means, but I've heard it all my life. And that's what I say. So here we go. We're going to put it right down here. Pull this one in just slightly. Okay. And we have our front covered. Now then, I'm going to try to put a little nubbin in here with this stupid hole punch, but it's not working very well, so I may have to fling it on the floor and try to get it out. I have a new one that I'm going to order, so but this is just a little tab for the tag. Oh my goodness, it worked. Okay, so we have that. We have a really cool design here, and when we get this inked, that's going to look really cool. All right, so now we have the back. Throw away these little bitty pieces, and that's not quite big enough the way it sits, but sliding out of my chair, we can tear it and do some decoupage type things with it, and it will work just fine. Okay, so we'll put that one there, We're going to ink it up. Like I said, I'm only inking in here. We will ink the outside edges when we ink the entire envelope in a little bit. And but right now I'm just inking in the things that are going to be glued down. So we'll we'll put this right in the corner. That glue does give you a little bit of time, but not very much to wiggle. All right, so we have a little piece there. And let's tear off another piece. And we could, that kind of wastes some space. So let's put this one right here. And that's going to cover pretty nicely. Inky, inky. Okay. Just ink the top of that. Oh well, that's okay. It doesn't matter what way your text is going. Now, if you could get a full piece and put it on here and do it all go in the same direction, that would be cool. But I really like when the texts are going different directions. It kind of reminds me of how chaotic my life seems to be at times. So I kind of like that. I'm going to pull this over just a little bit. Make sure it's covered. Glue it down. Now we've got a little bit showing down here, but that's okay. We're going to cover it up. Okay. And let's see. We have a little bit there. We could just pull that right up and make it look like that. And I love doing collaging, but I'm not very smooth with it, I guess you could say. I kind of haphazardly do things, and sometimes they turn out nicely and sometimes they don't. So that's okay. That's how we learn. So I hope you are making this right along with me today. It's easy, super easy to do. It's a lot of fun to do. Cover that up right there. We need it down to cover that. There we go. And then we have a piece right here that we might be able to, if we're really lucky, cover up this. It's going to leave us a little hole right there, but that's okay. We can cover that up. Let's go ahead and tear this so it matches all of the rest of the things. Tear it ever so slightly. And then we'll put this right here, ink and ink. Going to glue the back side of our little piece of paper here. Put this right in the corner. There we go. Now then, we've got this little piece left, and we have this section and this little section. The front is completely covered. It's all we have left to do. So let's see if we tear that. That will work just like that. So we'll tear that off. Make sure that's going to work, and it is. And we're going to ink this all the way around because it's a centerpiece, or not an edge piece. So we're going to put it all the way around. And we'll put it here. Well, let's turn it back around this way. How did I lay that down? so that it worked. It was like that. Okay. So we're going to glue this right here. Glue this down right here. Okay. Now we do have just a little bitty piece here. And we're going to tear this off. We're going to ink this up. And we're going to put this little piece right across there. So we have two little pieces that are angled. I apologize for the car outside. We live in a college town, and it's awesome. It's awesome. I love the kids. I love seeing them out riding around and doing cool stuff. So I'm not complaining at all. But they're so cute because they get to showing off with their loud cars. And we have a pretty major street right down here, a few blocks, so they get out there in the evenings and rev up their whatever it is that makes them sound loud. Anyway, I have fun listening to them, but I apologize if they're bothering anyone. Okay, we'll get all of our little nubbins here and put those in the trash, and we have a covered envelope pocket. Okay, so now we're going to ink this up really, really good, and we're going to ink all the way around the edges and down. I do not like to see the white edges, and if you're not wrapping your paper around, then you're going to see white edges, and if you wrap it around, it makes it thicker, and so I don't usually like to do that. But I want all of this, and as those of you that have seen me before know, I like really heavy inking. So I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but I like it that way. And then we have some more right here, and we'll ink all the way around, make sure all of our edges are covered nicely. And then I'm going to go back and do the back just as well. All the way around. I want that frame. I do lots of junk journals, and so I want to make sure that it looks old and junky. And this little white part down here is kind of bugging me, and so I'm going to cover it with my ink dauber. I just don't like white space. It bothers me. It makes it look like it's just not finished, and so I'll usually go back and daub in a little bit with it. So all right, there we are. Now then, we need to make a little card for it, and I think this card's probably, it might work, but I think we can save it for the top one, the one that comes down the top. So let's see how wide we made this, and let's look and see. It is exactly 3.5 by 3.5, so pretty square. So we're going to do 3.5. Don't need to measure that. I have a cutter now. Okay, we'll do 3.5. 3.5 by 3.5. And then we have plenty more if we want to make another one at some time. Now on this last one, I did use my, what do you call this, a chomper thingy. Anyway, it does the edges, and so I just kind of cut those out. The rounded corners, to me, seems like it helps the tag go into the pocket a little better, and so I like to do that most of the time. Sometimes I don't. Whoops, missed the shelf. Sometimes I don't. I put it on, and sometimes I don't. Now then, we've got to put, I don't guess it matters, does it? It's 3 by 3, isn't it? So it will fit right in to the edge of our pocket. It will fit right into the edge. And then our picture's going to go right there. So we've got to find a picture that's going to fit right there. And I have some flowers and things. I've had these forever. I don't know where I got this book, but it has, you have to be kind of careful when you're picking out pictures though, because they're kind of big, and so we have to be kind of careful with what we're going to put in our window. But I like that one right there. So, and this is a tag thingy, my bobby here. So we're going to cut this off here. I'll stick that back on there because you never know when you need a piece of sticky white paper. And I'll have that for another project at some time. And then I'm going to just very quickly, very hastily, I guess that's the same thing, isn't it? Fussy cut around here, and I'm not going to do it very detailed because I don't want it to be super detailed. I want it to just look nice. And the hard part about doing this is trying to do it with the sticky on the back. But that's okay. It works. Whoops. Oh, that works. That stays. We're going to ink around. Just very carefully, and I put a little daubing around on the inside so that you don't see the white. And we're going to look about right here so we can make sure that we get our picture in the center of that window. So we're going to put it about right here. Okay. Before we glue it, let's make sure that's going to fit and work. Okay. Really needs to come, well, we could leave our tag out a little bit this time on this one, and that would work just fine, because it is just a little tad, and these do not stick very well, I will say. So we're gonna scoot it in a little bit before we glue it. We want to make sure it's going to show up in that window, and then once we're sure where we want it, we'll glue it. But we need to make sure it's going to fit in there first. See, that's perfect. That will work perfect. So, and we can turn it around. It don't matter whether you do it on the front or the back or what, but I'm not going to pick it up. I'm going to kind of glue it like this, and then I'll turn it over and do the other side because I don't want it to move. Now, of course, the silly thing won't come up. There we go. Well, I tore my little leaf off, but oh well. He'll glue right back on there. There we go. Get my napkin and kind of glue that down because it has been inked. There we go. Okay, then we're going to ink around the edges relatively lightly. It doesn't have to be a lot. Just a little bit to define the edges and the borders. Now, if you want to put something on the back of it, you certainly can. I think I'm going to leave this one blank so that you can use it for writing space. And we'll put it right back in here and make sure that it's doing what we want it to do. And it is. I don't really know why that is not wanting to stick down in there. Let me see if I can open that just a little bit. Maybe I got a little wild and crazy with my glue. And I must have, because that certainly opened it up perfectly. And there we go. We have this beautiful little flower on here. Okay. Now we've got to decorate this somehow. This one we didn't decorate so much because the decoration was really kind of in the paper. And I didn't want it to be too much, overly done. But we can put a little bit on this. And like I said, this is going to be going in my dark forest. Let's cover that up just a little bit. We can use some of this. We need a pull tab thing here. And I use this a lot. This is cotton. It's cotton that's been cut into strips and it's been frayed on both sides. And it really is cool. I use it for trims. I use it for all kinds of things. But it works really nicely for a little pull. And let's see. And kind of gets folded down a little bit. And so let's cut off a little bit of this. And we'll put it about right yay. Now, I am going to staple this one with my little handy dandy stapler thingy my bobby. So I'm going to put it right here. And I'm only going to staple the front side. And I'm going to make a little X with the staples. Okay, so I have a little X there. And then I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to put glue on the back of this with my Fabri-Tac. And that will help the staples. That will help the staples stay in the card. And then I'm going to just fold this down over it so you don't see the backs of the staples, which bothers me. I don't know why, but it does. And we have, hold it for just a minute and let it really adhere very well. And then we have this, and we can put a little pearl on here or a gemstone, or you can leave it however. I'm going to leave it plain and put it right there in our pocket, and it shows right through the little hole. Isn't that awesome? And then I have another one of these paper clip things here, and this could work on here. Oh, let's try getting it right side up. And that would work pretty good to hold that in, and it's already decorated. We could take a little piece of this and put it down here. That covers up our little paper that we worked so hard to get down there. I don't know that I want that. What about a word? We can find a word. Oh, this is cool. Spend time with trees. That works. and put that right there. Oh, that would be really cool. Okay, I like that. And let's put this one. And I do have some forest moss, and if I can find the little moss dauber. Of course, I never know where anything is on my desk. You know, I try, oh, it's right there. I try real hard to start out with a lot of organized, and it lasts about 2 seconds. But this has a little bit of ink on it. I don't want much because I don't want it to cover up the words. But we can put just a little bit of green on that to kind of tie it together with our card or with our tag, and also to tie it in with the theme of the forest. So I think that will work just perfect. Let me put a little bit of glue on this. And then, for time's sake, I think that what I'm going to do is come back at some point, right after this. We'll call this part 1. We'll call this Working with Envelopes part 1, because I don't want the video to be just so long that, you know, you're sitting there, oh my God, when is she going to be done? And so I don't want that. So how about we finish this one? This one is done as far as I'm concerned. Now, I do have a little book here that has trees in it. And they're just little tree stickers and stuff. Let's see. We don't really want a green tree. I mean, a colorful tree per se, but like a little tree like that. And put it on the back. Or maybe we could put it on the back of our card, on the back of our tag, and put it right down here. Now that does cover up some of our writing space, but that's cute. I like that. I really like that. So let's, this is not a sticker. This is just a paper that I cut out. So let's use some of this forest moss and turn it around here. And put that right down there. And I think that would be just really cute. And it kind of pulls it in with the trees. All right, I like that. So let's put that one down. And then we will call this little beauty finished. And you will probably see it later when I do my walkthrough for my journal, because she's definitely going in there. Put that right there. And because it has been inked, and I just put it on there crooked, but that's the story of my life. And she's done. So we'll put her back in here, and we will do, sure we will. Now you're gonna, oh, it's because I've got the paper clip still stuck on it. Anyway, we'll put this right back in here. We'll put the paper clip back on it and have it there. Very cool. I hope y'all like that. I hope you enjoyed making it, and we'll come back and I will do the other half of this envelope. Yeah, this half right here in another video, and it won't be quite so long. So anyway, I appreciate each and every one of you for being with me today. I hope you had fun, and come back. We're going to do, I finally have decided I'm going to do Tutorial Tuesdays. So we'll always do a tutorial on Tuesdays. And then on Fridays, we'll just do something for fun. And it may be a tutorial, it may be a walkthrough, it may be, who knows. we'll come up with some cool things. And so I do plan to have videos up twice a week. And I'm hoping that if you like it, if you like what you've seen, please like and subscribe. Visit uh, my online store at www.dragonflywings.com. Check it out, see what we have. We might have something you need. And anyway, check back with us next week and we'll try the other half of that envelope and get that done. I'm going to call this part 1. We'll call that part 2. All right. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.